Hello, everypony. It's Lotus Moon. It's been quite a while since my last reading, but that's only because I've been mainly preoccupied with getting through the auditions for Inverno in F minor. I've given some of you permission to view the document with the audition lines on it, but I've only gotten about 3 submissions for the auditions. Like it says in the Google Docs, I take WAV files, MP4s, or YouTube video compilations of who you're auditioning for. And as it also states, you can audition for more than one character. So feel free to audition soon. I understand many of you might be students in finals mode right now, so I totally understand, as I myself am also in finals mode for college. But just remember, the deadline is next Tuesday. Anyway, I am here to read an equestrian tale written by Blue Glory. I got this submission a while ago, but since I was so busy, I wasn't able to do it till now. So without further ado, enjoy the reading. An Equestrian Tale, written by Blue Glory. It was a cold winter day in a typical suburban neighborhood, and very close to Christmas. Since school was not in session until January, dozens of kids were outside playing in the snow. They were having so much fun while building snow forts, throwing snowballs without hurting each other, and shoveling driveways to earn a buck or two. Meanwhile, inside one of the homes, a brother and sister were watching TV. Ryan, a boy, was feeling rather bored while playing a game on his iPad. However, his 5-year-old sister Allie was quite interested in what she was watching. It was a familiar episode from the television show My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. The episode, A Heartwarming Tale, featuring the characters in a retelling of Charles Dickens's story, A Christmas Carol. During the commercial break, Allie turned around while sitting on the floor and looked at Ryan. "What would you like for Christmas?" Ryan paused his game and looked at his sister. "I don't know, something that involves video games. Maybe a new Minecraft game or something. What do you want?" Allie took a deep breath and happily replied, "I want to be a pony." Ryan turned off the iPad and looked at his sister again. "What? A pony? That's impossible." "But I want to be a pony," Allie replied. "Like those ponies on the show I'm watching." Yeah, that won't happen." Ryan turned the iPad back on. "I mean, what are the chances that something magical would occur in our household? The last time something magical happened was when we got 3 days off from school for last year's blizzard. We were watching Frozen when a storm hit." "Yeah, that was good." Allie sat down onto a pillow and hugged her Rainbow Dash plush. She whispered to the plush, "I can't wait to meet you someday." She smiled and kissed the plush's forehead. Ryan rolled his eyes and continued to play his game on the iPad. Both of their parents were at a dinner party and wouldn't be back until late. A grandma named Majin, aka Debbie, was babysitting Ryan and Allie. She was listening to Never Gonna Give You Up with headphones. Ryan checked the time. It was 12:45 p.m. and they had already had lunch. He was just about to earn a few points on his game when there was an increasing crescendo of sound coming from the basement. "Allie, do you hear something?" Allie turned off the TV. "What is it, Ryan?" The sound started getting louder and louder. "It's coming from the basement. Let's go check it out." Ryan quickly ran over to the basement door, Allie following behind him. They reached the door and opened it. "Jeez, what's that sound?" Ryan yelled. He was covering his ears. Allie was covering her ears too. "I don't know." Ryan carefully crept down the steps, his sister following closely behind. Once they had reached the bottom step, the sound stopped. Ryan turned the lights on and gasped. There, standing in the basement, was a pony, standing next to a purple large portal. He had a brown mane, brown tail, brown eyes, red fur, and a trombone cutie mark. "Hello, children. How are you this afternoon?" the pony spoke. Both Allie and Ryan screamed. "He can talk. He's real." The pony was confused. You know that I'm right here. Now, please calm down and introduce yourselves." Allie and Ryan took a few deep breaths and looked at the red pony. Ryan spoke first. My name is Ryan and this is my sister Allie. Allie waved to the pony. She was very excited. The pony ruffled his wings. He was a Pegasus pony. Nice to meet you two. My name is Slide Fortissimo, professional trombonist from Equestria. I was sent here by Princess Celestia to grant someone's wish. Slide looked at Allie. Would you like to be a pony? Allie stared back at the pony. This was her dream. Yes, of course. What about you, Ryan? Ryan looked at the pony and observed him. What would we be when we are ponies, Slide? Well, in Equestria, a filly is a girl and a colt is a boy. So Allie would be a filly and you would be a colt. But you can't be alicorns. You have to be an earth pony, unicorn, or Pegasus pony. Allie had made her decision. I'll be a Pegasus pony. I always wanted to fly. Slide nodded. Excellent choice, Allie. You'll look exactly like the pony you have came up with. Wait a minute. Is it good to be a Pegasus pony? Ryan asked, a bit worried. There's nothing better, Slide replied. It's very fun. Sleeping on and swimming in the clouds is great. However, I mostly prefer to take the train. Ryan thought for a few more seconds. Alright then, I'll be a Pegasus pony too, but if I fall, please catch me. Slide laughed. Of course I will. You'll be fine. He trotted over to the portal and stood near it. Now, in Equestria, clothing is optional. It's nearly Hearthwarming Eve there, and the weather is very cold. I have plenty of scarves in my saddlebag. For you two, you'll need to leave anything that won't exist in Equestria. Allie was puzzled. Do you mean that I can't bring my Rainbow Dash plush? Slide shook his head. Yup. Nothing that is made here can be bought over to Equestria. That includes electronics, watches, keys, and wallets. But during the transformation, you should be fine. Slide trotted over to the portal. Please stand on both sides of me in front of the portal. Ryan stood on Slide's right. Allie stood on Slide's left side. Right, then you two. Are you ready to go to Equestria? Yes. Slide pushed them into the portal. Onward to Equestria we go. He dove into the portal. In the basement, the portal closed and the lights turned off. Inside the portal canal, Allie and Ryan were turned into a filly and a colt, respectively, but they couldn't see anything. It was completely dark, and all three were falling rapidly. Down, down, faster and faster. And then everything went still. Ryan and Allie continued to have their eyes closed. Slide proudly got up and made an announcement. Ryan, Allie, welcome to Equestria. They both opened their eyes cautiously. Ryan, that was quite a fall. Allie gasped. Her brother was no longer a human, but a colt. A Pegasus pony colt. Allie, what are you staring at me for? Allow me. Slide reached into his saddlebag and gave Ryan a mirror. Take a look for yourself. Ryan stared at himself. He was now a colt. A bit too small, but the right size. He had red fur, blue eyes, a long tail, glasses, and a yellow mane. Sadly, he didn't have a blue unicorn horn, but blue wings instead. Wow, I am a pony. Ryan tried to get up and was able to do so easily. Take a look at yourself, Allie. You're a pony too. Allie looked at herself. She was very pink, with a pink and red mane and tail. She had pink wings and green eyes. She stood up on all four hooves. This is awesome. Slide shushed her. Be quiet, please. Now then, you two are capable of flying too. Slide flapped his wings and hovered into the air. See that town over there? Allie and Ryan looked at the town. That's Ponyville, Equestria. I used to live there for a long time. However, we are going to my home in Cloudsdale. Allie raised a hoof. Do we have to fly up there? She then looked up to see a city above them. Slide nodded. Yep, just flap your wings and follow me. Slide took off into the air, upwards towards Cloudsdale. Wait for me! Ryan flapped his wings and got off the ground, Allie following close behind. A few minutes later, they reached Cloudsdale and Slide flew over to his house. A large house it was, built on a large collection of clouds. He flew down to the front door and found his house key. He unlocked the door. Come on in, you two. Make yourselves comfortable. Slide held the door open for them. Allie and Ryan tried it inside. Slide tried it into the house and closed the door behind him. He sat down on his armchair. Please, have a seat on the couch. Allie and Ryan sat on the couch. Now you two will be my guests for a few days. But there are plenty of rules you need to follow. Allie and Ryan nodded their heads. So in Equestria, there are 4 princesses. Princess Celestia, Princess Luna, Princess Cadence, and Princess Twilight. Ryan raised his hoof. Were there 2 originally? Yes, of course. It's a long story to tell. I have an entire book collection about it in my library, and all events are true. Allie looked around the room. So, this is your house? Slide nodded. Yes, of course. I've been living here for quite a while. Ryan pointed to the trombone case. What's that? Slide looked over to where Ryan was pointing. Oh, glad you noticed that. That is my tenor trombone case. I also have an alto trombone, a bass trombone, and a cantabrass trombone. Ryan and Allie both said softly, Awesome. What can we do in Equestria? Funny you should ask. Slide flew out of the room and laid a map onto the coffee table. There are many places you can visit and things you can do, but there are things that you can't do. Ryan spoke up. You mean we can't have internet or play video games? We do have video games, but they are like those video game machines you find at arcades. The internet doesn't work, but we do have libraries in every town. Trust me, being in a book is fun sometimes. He winked. Ryan smiled. Wow, can I go to the library? Please, I also like to study. Here, follow me. I'll show you to my library. Slide trotted out of the living room and trotted over to his library. Here it is. I call it the Fortissimo Library. You may read any book here, but reader discretion is advised in some books. Thanks, I love to study, but I have a question. Slide picked out a book. It was his autobiography. What's your question? Can we talk to ponies and make friends? And is there a city I can go to? Well, I'll let you make some friends. And you may visit Ponyville only, but you can't do anything dangerous, and you must use different names. Thanks. I'll call myself Smarthead, and Allie can be Quirky. I'm about to go there right now. Be safe, you two. Please return back here before dinner. Okay, thanks so much, Smart and Quirky replied. They both flew to the front door and departed from the house. Slide waited patiently for Smart and Quirky to return. He was making a special dinner for them. Meanwhile, Ryan and Allie, now known as Smarthead and Quirky respectively, flew all the way to Ponyville and landed near the bridge. Excited, they galloped quickly into Ponyville. Looking around, they soon found a stand with a sign on it. Cider, 2 bits, free for first-timers only. Standing at the stand was some pony very old. She was working a stand. Ryan and Allie went over to the stand eagerly. Excuse me, can we have some cider, please? Granny Smith looked at the 2 ponies. Well, since it's your first time having cider, by all means, call me Granny. Granny Smith, please. What are your names? I'm Smarthead, and this is Quirky. Nice to meet you. Granny Smith gave Smarthead and Quirky a fresh mug of cider. Thank you, they both said. Goodbye, Smarthead and Quirky. Thank you for your visit. They went over to a table to drink their cider and sat down onto it. They began to drink it. Wow, this tastes so good, Allie said. I know, right? Just then, a very familiar alicorn arrived. Hello, you two. Are you new here? Yep. Nice to meet you. My name is Twilight. Princess Twilight Sparkle. Smarthead took a sip from his mug and placed it onto the table. Hey, I heard about you. You're pretty awesome. Twilight smiled. Why, thank you. Now, where are your parents? Quirky did a very amusing spit take. Well, our parents are... Smarthead quickly silenced his sister. We are actually in the care of a pony in Cloudsdale. Twilight raised an eyebrow. And who is this pony? Slide Fortissimo? Do you know him? Twilight thought for a moment. Yes, I do recall the name. He's a professional trombonist, and I've seen a few of his concerts. It seems you two are fine. I hope you two enjoy your stay here in Equestria. Feel free to visit the Friendship Castle at any time. Thanks. Both of them flew into the air and went back to Cloudsdale. Slide had just finished dinner. He was completely exhausted after cooking hay burgers with hay fries, daisy sandwiches, and was almost done with the appetizers. Smarthead and Quirky arrived at the house and knocked on the door. Slide had the dinner set up and trotted over to the door. He opened it. Oh, hello, you two. Glad to see that you're both okay. I've made dinner for you two, my treat. But please go to the bathroom first and wash your hooves. We're back and okay. They went to the bathroom and washed their hooves. Slide sat down at the table. He had a glass of grape juice for himself. They went to the table and sat down. Ryan began eating dinner. Do you want to know who we made friends with? Who did you make friends with? Slide asked, wiping his face with a napkin. We made friends with Granny Smith and Twilight. Princess Twilight. Well done, you two. Quirky, did you two do anything else? Slide took a bite from his daisy sandwich. I'm sorry to say, but we drank some cider. Granny Smith gave it to us. Cider? There's nothing to worry about. It's completely non-alcoholic. Alcoholic cider can be found in the bars and taverns at Canterlot. Okay, thanks. We didn't know about it. Also, can we visit Twilight at her castle anytime? Because she said that to us. So I finished the sandwich. Of course you can, but I think you guys can't stay here for long. 1 day in Equestria is 1 hour back on Earth. What? I wish I could stay here forever. It's awesome here. Yeah, I'm sorry to say this, but it's true. It's in Equestrian law, too. Is there a way that we can stay here forever? It's way better here than on Earth. I'm sorry, but that can't happen. The only possible way would be if you two were created characters here and have them exist in Equestria. Can we try? Because I hate Earth. Well, Ryan and Allie would have to stay on Earth. Smarthead and Quirky would need to have parents or be adopted here. I would need to bring Ryan and Allie back home. However, Quirky and Smarthead will stay here in Equestria. Slide began to eat his hamburger. Why don't we talk to Princess Celestia about this issue? Maybe she can help us, Smarthead said. Yes, you can try if you want, Slide replied. Where is Princess Celestia's castle? Smarthead and Quirky questioned. Slide placed his hamburger on his plate. The castle is located in Canterlot. It's about 20 miles away from Ponyville, Slide replied. Okay, thank you. We're about to head there right now. Goodbye. Stay safe, both said. Wait a minute, you two. I forgot to tell you something. Slide finished his hamburger and his dinner. What is it? Both said. There's a piece of cake in the refrigerator. I would like you to deliver that to Princess Celestia. She loves cake, and it will be a great thank you present too, said Slide. Okay, we will. Thank you, goodbye, Wolf replied. Slide cleared the dishes and placed them into the sink. Then he said, I'm quite surprised that you two are in such a hurry to meet. So many ponies here. Well, I assure you, it's awesome and better than the Earth because you have to do lots of boring stuff. And it's fun, so yeah, goodbye. Have a wonderful day, Slide, Smarthead replied. Thank you, Smarthead. Please be safe now and be back before dusk, Slide said. Let's go, Quirky. They went outside of the house and flew to Celestia's castle. Slide cleaned the dishes and made himself a bowl of ice cream. Afterwards, he trotted into his library and began to read a good book about Equestria's history of train travel. They flew and flew fast, but at the right speed. They landed outside Celestia's castle. Meanwhile, Slide was reading his book. He felt a bit tired from cooking that dinner all afternoon. Slide stopped reading and went to his room and fell asleep on his bed. Smarthead and Quirky entered the castle happily. They saw a really tall filly with white fur, big white wings, and white eyes that looked familiar to them. It was Celestia. Who are you, and what brings you here? She boomed. My name is Smarthead, and this is Quirky. We are here to ask you a favor about something and to deliver you the cake you requested. We are the people that got here because you sent Slide for us. Ah, I remember now. Thank you. Since you got my cake, I shall reward you to let you stay here forever. Thank you, both Smarthead and Quirky said. Goodbye. They trotted outside and took off towards Ponyville. A few minutes later, they reached the majestic Ponyville and landed on their four hooves. They trotted to the Friendship Castle. Both trotted around the inside of the castle until they heard talking. There they found a room with seven ponies inside a table area. The two ponies went in and said, Hey, Twilight and every pony. Twilight said, Hey, how are you? Rainbow Dash and the rest said, Who are they? Twilight replied, They are also new friends I met outside on one of the tables. Rainbow Dash said, Cool, what are their names? The eldest spoke first. Well, my name is Smarthead and this is Quirky. What perfect names you have, chimed Rarity. Fluttershy said shyly, are you new here? Both Quirky and Smarthead said yes. Where are your parents? Fluttershy said. I'll explain that later, Twilight said. Quirky said, Do you know how to get coins here? Applejack explained, All you gotta do is get a job here in Ponyville. Work hard and y'all get coins. Why? Smarthead said, Because I'm hungry and thirsty. We need coins to buy food and cider. Applejack said, What towns do y'all have? Smarthead said, Well, I can make video game arcades, and I have special talent for writing books. That is a special talent. Well, I'll help you by making clothes for you, said Rarity. Quirky said, I can do cooking and teaching since I know a little, but I'll need to learn a lot more knowledge also. Applejack said, Well, I can help you by teaching you about history and more. Thanks, said the two. Applejack said, No problem. Now just follow me and we'll get started at my farm. Rarity quipped, Follow me, Smarthead. Let's go make some clothes for you. Twilight said, Before you two go, make sure that you don't give up and work hard. See you later. Quirky and Smarthead went to the places they had to go. Rarity trotted to the big fashion shop. She said, Welcome to my shop, where we make special clothes for every pony. Thank you for making my clothes for me, Smarthead offered. No problem. Now, what clothes do you need? Smarthead said, I would like a construction hat and 5 pocket pads. Sure, that would take me 30 minutes to make them, so sit down in one of those chairs and I'll start working on them. Okay, Smarthead trotted over to the small chair and sat down on it. Meanwhile, Corky and Applejack trotted to the farm and went to her room. So do you know math? Applejack said. I only know a little bit, Corky replied. Well, I'll teach you that until you've learned all of it, Applejack said. 30 minutes of Applejack's teaching, Corky, she said, we're done learning for the day because you are finished with all of the math. Thank you so much, Allie replied. Meanwhile, Rarity was speaking to Smarthead at our own shop. We're done, and here are your clothes. Smarthead said, thank you, I'll go put them on. He tried the 5 pocket pads and the construction hat, and they fit perfectly. Smarthead tried out of the shop and to the store. Filthy Rich said, hey, I see you can make items. What items can you make? Smarthead said, I can only make video game arcades. Filthy Rich said, what if you make some and allow me to sell them, and I'll give you half the money I get. Deal? Smarthead thought over it for a second. Deal. Smarthead went into the work area and started working on a Pac-Man arcade machine. Smarthead finished the machine and put it in a table near the window to show people the arcade. Done. I made a Pac-Man machine just for every pony. Filthy Rich said, I am impressed. Thank you. Well, I gotta go find my filly, Corky, Ryan replied. Filthy Rich said, okay, goodbye. Smarthead trotted outside the store and saw some pony trotting really fast to the store. He was curious. Smarthead went into the store and saw ponies buying all of the arcade machines. Filthy Rich said, wow, this is rare in Ponyville. Here are some bitcoins for helping me. Smarthead said, thank you and goodbye. Smarthead said, Granny Smith, can I have some cider, please? I got bitcoins for it. Granny Smith said, 2 bitcoins, please. Smarthead gave Granny Smith the 2 bitcoins, and she handed him 2 fresh mugs of cider. Thank you, Granny Smith. Goodbye. Smarthead trotted into the castle where Quirky, Rarity, Twilight, Rainbow Dash, Spike, and Applejack were. He trotted into the room and sat on one of the chairs. Quirky, I got some cider for you. It's from the coins I made from Filthy Rich. He passed a fresh mug of cider to Quirky, and Quirky drank the cider. Thank you, Smarthead. What did you sell? Quirky asked. Smarthead said, well, I sold a few arcade machines of this new game called Pac-Man. She said, wow, that's awesome. I think I'm going to Slide's house. Goodbye, Twilight, and the rest of you all. Have a wonderful day, Smarthead said. They said you too. Smarthead got off the ground with his 4 hooves and took off to Slide's house. The end. And that was an Equestrian tale written by Blue Glory. Okay, every pony, safe to say this story was a bit confusing. The storyline jumped from one thing to the next. I think I got a little whiplash. Blue Glory, I am not putting you down in any way. Please know that. I encourage you to continue writing, but in the future, if you're going to write a story, be sure to get a second set of eyes to look out for any possible grammatical errors or open-ended storylines that should be polished a bit more. The story does have the potential to be great, but as I stated, it wouldn't help to have an extra set of eyes for any possible editing. I did enjoy reading this story, and I do hope you come to me for more stories that you may write in the future. But, as I stated, and as an experienced person in this myself, be sure to have a second set of eyes for editing. If necessary, post the story to FemFiction and ask someone for help with the editing. There are more than enough people who will be happy to help you out with that. And also to every pony else, as I stated earlier before doing the reading, auditions for Inferno in F minor will go on until next Tuesday. If necessary, I will extend the deadline for 1 more week. I also stated that I do understand that most of you might be students in school doing your finals, and since I am also an online college student doing my finals, I understand the delay for doing any auditions, as school does come first. I am Lotus Moon, and I want to wish you all a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are, every pony. Good night.